Hello. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Destiny Defoe. Um, I am 22, and I decided to make a podcast. And I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. The title is a little kind of clickbaity, but not really. I'm recording in my kitchen. Um, but I was going to record on the video, if you're watching the video, with my camera that I bought specifically for this, but my mic was not compatible with it, so I had to just use my iPad. So hopefully the quality's fine. If it's bad, oh well. Just listen to the audio then. But we're just gonna hop right into it. Let's start from the very beginning of this crazy ass fucking story. So I last year had a job switch, and during that job switch, I was thinking about how I really do not want to work customer service jobs all my fucking life because it is such a fucking chore. It is literally, I want to rip my hair out every 5 seconds. Like, I love my job now. I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts before the job I have now. That was a million times worse. And that is a whole episode in itself. And we're not going to talk about that today. But we are going to talk about college. So I was thinking of it. I was kind of looking at colleges and I was like, oh, but like it's such a long process and all these things, and I have to tell my dad and I have to tell my family members and I whatever. And so I thought about it for a long time, and then the beginning of this year I started to narrow it down to 2 colleges. And I was like, I'll apply to these. I'll get in, maybe not. I was making this whole plan in my head of how this year was going to go. I was really just getting into it. I was getting really excited because the program I wanted to get into was something that involved art, because for those who don't know me, I draw. I love art. I've been doing it since I was in fucking like elementary school, and so I am parched. Hold on. Oh, can you hear that? Wait, if I put hold on. I know this is off topic, but hold on. If I put the mic to my throat, can you hear me swallow? Is that weird? You know what? It's fine. I'm going to test it out. Hold on. Ew, you can. That is so fucking disgusting. Okay, sorry. I should have put a warning before then, but you know what? I had to bear witness to. So anyway, as I was saying, I was really getting into going to college, and I was applying and I was working my ass off, and I was, trying to manage that upon like everything else I have to do in my life. And it was really hard because I was doing it by myself. And the beginning of this year, I kept telling my dad over and over that we had to fill out the FAFSA. And I love my dad to pieces. I love him right to death. Love that man. He is such a hard worker. He has done so much for me and more. I could not be more thankful for a better dad. But he does not like anything to do with online. He's very a pen and paper person, and he does not like to do anything online at all. He hates it. Absolutely hates it. And so trying to get him to fill out the FAFSA was such a fucking chore. And we didn't even get to fill it out, first of all, because the website kept crashing, or the website wasn't working, or the website's glitching. It was, ugh. So that was like mostly all the beginning of that year. That, and I'm, trying to get him to fill it out, and he's always busy and he's always doing things. So we ended up not filling it out. Now keep that in mind. We did not fill out the FAFSA. Keep that in mind. I'm like, okay, let's take a little break from this, get back to it. I took a few weeks from the whole college thing because I was like, okay, whatever. I'm getting a little stressed out, especially because I'm working like a job and, whatever. So after that little break, I went back to it and started applying again, making sure, I'm keeping up with it. I did like a personal essay that I was really proud of. Actually, I was really surprised, honestly, but I think I did a pretty good job on that personal essay. I will not read it to you because it's like personal and anyway, so obviously because it's a personal fucking essay. Anyway, so, and then literally as I'm doing the finishing touches, I was like, oh, I need recommenders. So I bust my ass off to try to get these recommenders. I got my old manager and my old art teacher and obviously my guidance counselor. That was required. So I set those up. They did their part, which I am very thankful for. And I am really appreciative of the way they went out of their way to, sorry, my mouth was getting dry. They were going out of their way to do this for me. And I don't know what they said. But whatever they said worked because I remember this was over the period, by the way, of like all this year. So this was not like a few weeks thing. This was all this year till like around now. Well, last month, but kind of now. So in July. Keep that in mind. So all this year is something I've been working on and something I've been planning and something I had a whole plan in my head. I was going to commute all the way to college and back in the winter, which obviously is a bad idea. But at the time I was like, I can do it because like I'm built different. Anyway, I'm so cocky for no reason. So like after a few days of me submitting the applications, I got word back from both of these two colleges, and I got into both of them. Woo, woo, woo. Don't celebrate yet. So, I chose one of the college I wanted to go to in the first place. And I was getting really, really excited. I was doing whatever. I was doing the whole, enrollment thing, whatever. And like, I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. I'm like buying school supplies. I bought a fucking scientific calculator. Like I bought a scientific fucking calculator. You know what I mean? Like I bought a fucking cool ass backpack that is really cool, by the way. And it's really fucking pretty. But like, I was so piped out. I was like getting ready. I was getting ready to literally go to fucking college. And then I get my schedule and I'm so excited. But then with my schedule came the bill for that semester. And I look at it and I'm like freaking out because I'm like, is that for like the whole year or is it for just this semester? And I'm thinking it was. And keep in mind, on my schedule, there was only 5 classes. Only 5 I took. And not like, only 5 classes I took for that like whole semester. And the bill was about a little over $6,000 for that one semester. And you might be thinking, well, Destiny, obviously, because university is very fucking expensive. I know that. This was without financial aid. Keep in mind. Keep in mind also that we haven't done the FAFSA. And this was also around the period of time where I'm trying to get my dad. I'm like, we need to fill it out. I find out, though, that the FAFSA deadline for that college was all the way back in March. So even if we did fill the FAFSA out, it would not qualify for that year. So, anyway, so, and, scholarships aren't really guaranteed either. Well, neither is the FAFSA, but it was my best bet of getting financial aid. Anyway, so I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I cannot afford that. And that's crazy. And so I talked to my sister and she's like, ooh, hopefully you figure that out. So she wasn't really much help. You weren't really much help. Sorry. But she's my sister. She never helps. Sorry. She's gonna listen to this, be like, what the fuck? Anyway, then I keep drinking coffee. I feel like I'm interrupting myself. It's fine. And then I kind of shoo it away. I'm like, it's fine. We'll just get back to it. It's fine. Like, this is what college is about. Like, you just pay an awful shit ton of money and hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Whatever. So the same day, that night, I keep thinking about it and I keep looking at that number and my anxiety starts to pick up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a real fucking number on my screen. Like, I have to pay this number. Like, I have to pay that. And I don't have that. And I was like, I cannot afford to pay that much. And so I called my grandmother and I was like, hey, guess how much it is for the first semester? And she was like, how much? And I tell her, and she sounds, I have never heard my grandmother sound so shocked over the phone before. And she's telling me, she's like, this is all up to you if you want to go or not. However, these are the points that I'm making and I don't think you should go right now. Whatever. And I was thinking about the points she was making. And like, I'm a type of person that I'm like, I don't like to admit when other people are right. And I know that is such like, that is such a shitty fucking thing to say, but it's true. I don't like, I feel like personally, most of the time I am right. And before you're like, Destiny, be fucking for real. I am being for real. I'm being for real because a lot of people come to me for advice and 99.9% of the time, I am always right in those circumstances. And it's weird. Whatever. That's a topic. That's debatable, I guess. Besides the point. And I was like, I think you're right, Nana. Like, I think you're right. I hate to admit it. And she starts laughing and she's making a big deal about it. And it's funny. The point she was making was I have to commute from college back and forth while also being transferred from one store to the one that's in that area. So it would be easier for me to go to work and go to college. But keep in mind, that's also hard in itself, let alone traveling in the middle of fucking winter back and forth a half an hour away. And, that would be really fucking hard. Other option was to go live in the dorm. I could bring Momo. The problem is that I would lose the apartment I have now. And then after I would be done college, I would be, drum roll please, I did the math, approximately, this is a rough estimate, $50,000 in debt. So I would have nowhere to go and be $50,000 in debt. And it kind of hit me and I was like, Nana, I think you're right. I'm like, oh my God. And like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should not go. Right now, I should not go. I don't have the funds. Okay? I don't have the funds, let alone when I'm in school, I would have to keep applying to these scholarships while also focusing on my studies, while also focusing on my job and commuting and all of these things. Like grocery shopping and all these other like little things. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. And it starts to hit me that I don't think I can do this. And I am way over my fucking head. And so I was looking at the number and I'm like, I'm still on the phone with my grandmother. And I'm like, I think you're right. And I think I should just, I'm like, what would like my family members think? What would everybody like I told think? Like they would think like I pussied out. They would think like, oh, like I'm such a loser. I'm like a college dropout, like whatever. And she was like, you know what? Who cares what they think? Because either way, you're doing what you think is best for you. You can go if you want. You can don't go. It is all up to you. And so I was like, I think I should just not go. I think I should unenroll. So as my grandmother's still on the phone, I am typing out the email and I hit send and I'm like, wow, all of that hard work over this past year, all the stress, all of everything just went down the fucking toilet. Everything I planned just went down the fucking toilet. And I remember the next day, I was feeling so fucking terrible. And I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to discuss anything. I don't want to see anybody. But I had to go to work. So that next day, I remember going to work. And obviously, I had to tell my manager because my manager knew. And I just remember, like, I was very sad. I still am sad about it, obviously. But, you know, I was like, this fucking sucks. And now, like, I remember, like, telling my dad how I got accepted and how, like, happy he looked and how excited he looked that, you know, I was accepted. And I did not want to see the look on his face when I tell him I'm actually not going. I didn't want to see the look on my face to all my other family members either. Like, I was so ashamed that I couldn't go. Simply because I literally could not afford it. And it sucked because I really, truly wanted to fucking go, obviously. I wanted to go. I was supposed to go in for, the program was web media and design. So, you know, that sounds really cool, right? Yeah. And I was really excited about it. And it just, like, all of that hard work went down the drain. And I was so angry, so ashamed. And I remember the next few days I had off, I just mostly stayed in bed and I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a lot. And, well, actually not as much as I thought I would, but I still cried a little bit. And I was trying to hold it together because I was like, I believe this is for the best. And, like, I don't want to think all my hard work went to waste, but it truly still does feel like it all just went down the fucking toilet. And so crazy. And this was I just feel like I wish I could put into words how that feels, but I literally can't. Because it's something I've never really felt before, and it's a very, I hate it. So, I remember just my dad texts me, and he's like, hey, why don't you come over sometime so we can get on that FAFSA thing? And I text him, and I explained the situation, I explained how I unenrolled, and he texts back how he loves me, and, you know, how he's still proud, either way, which I'm thankful. And I don't know, I overthought it, obviously. I fucking thought it, you know. My grandmother ended up telling my other family members before I could. So, I don't really know what their reaction was. Probably nothing really. I don't know. I think my grandmother mentioned that they agreed with me about how it would just be really hard and really fucking impossible. So I'm kind of at a loss right now. Not gonna lie. I'm at a loss. Maybe I'll save up. That's gonna probably take a while. And I don't know. And it's really frustrating because I feel like college should not be that expensive. I feel like there's way more, you know, universities and colleges out there, you know, and community colleges that are like way cheaper or way more expensive. And, you know, I feel like the university I wanted to go to was one of the lower cost, but even so, the lower cost still is really fucking expensive, especially for someone who lives on her own. I never really thought I would ever like even apply to college, let alone be accepted into college. So the fact that I'm very proud of and very grateful that I even, but I feel bad for my recommenders who took their time to do it and they didn't have to, but they did anyway. And I also feel bad for all of the people I told who were supporting me. And I just feel kind of like I let them down. But yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's been 2 weeks since I unenrolled. And I'm just now feeling a little bit better. But, still like, damn. Like, that really fucking sucks. Like, that really, truly, truly fucking sucks. And that really fucking sucks. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't really necessarily know for sure if I am considered a college dropout if I didn't really attend the school yet. Like, this was even before orientation. So, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like I would still be labeled that, even if I didn't attend. Yeah. So that's kind of what's been up lately. And it's really devastating. It's like, I've always felt like really behind. I did stay back in the 3rd grade. So I felt really behind in school and especially like in life in general. And I'm 22 now. And I see like all of my old classmates from like high school and I see like their Instagram feeds and I see like their Facebooks, whatever. And I can't help but envy them because most of them are in college and they seem like they have it all figured out. It's just like, I know not everything is as it seems online and I know that, and I know comparison is a thief of joy and I know that, but I can't help but do that. And it sucks because I see almost everybody that I grew up with. They don't live in my town anymore. And I'm still here, but I'm stuck here. And there's nowhere for me to go. I can't move because it's too expensive. It's too expensive. I cannot afford to do that. Right now is the cheapest place I could probably ever live, which I am also thankful for. And I'm very lucky because apartments nowadays are like $1,200 and up. Like, that's insane. That is crazy. It should not be like that at all. Not to get like political or anything, but that's just, in my case, like I'm just stuck where I am. And I feel like I can't really grow when I'm stuck in the same place. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do anything. I can't. And I felt like college was kind of my almost one way ticket out of here. And I cannot move on from my past and grow if I'm still stuck here. And that sucks. So I have to come up with a new plan. And it's kind of like I'm at a loss. So that's kind of where I am. And before the college thing, I was literally like, if this doesn't work out, I'm just one fucking mental breakdown away from creating a podcast. And so now we're here. It sucks. Like, I have a car, and I could travel, some places, but I'm still like here. And I don't like this town. It doesn't fit me. I have grown out of this town, and respectfully, I would like to leave. If you're someone out there going through the same thing, just know that you're not alone, and it is a completely normal feeling to feel these things. And I know that too, so we're in this together. Whether you like it or not, we don't like it, and that's fine. I am okay now. I will figure it out. I know I will. But that's all I wanted to say and all I wanted to talk about. So thank you so much for listening. If you want, you can follow this podcast at Wishful Thinking Podcast on Instagram, or you can follow me at Destiny Dufo on Instagram. You can just follow my Instagram, and then it'll just link you to all the other fucking Instagrams I have. That's all I wanted to say. Subscribe, I guess. Is that what they do on Spotify now? I don't know. I also wanted to mention that I'm only going to do video on this podcast once in a while. So every few episodes, basically. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, talk to you in my next one. Bye.